Hey guys, welcome back. So in this video, I will be discussing something else. So today I just was just thinking, why not we come up with some algorithmic videos wherein we deal with data structures and how we can solve some of the finest interview questions which has been asked. So today I'm trying to solve an algorithm called as two sum, which is kind of very simple to start with. So I was just thinking it's always better to start with the simple problems and then keep on building your algorithmic playlist, right? So without further ado, let's get started. So I have been in lead code. So in lead code, you can get the problems and where you can solve. I think one of the finest application where you can test your fundamental skills in terms of algorithm or in terms of data structure. Okay, I'm trying to solve this two sum problem where the question is given an array of integers. So this is the array. So we have to return an indices of two numbers such that they add up to the specific target. So what I have to do is, for example, 2 comma 7 11 15, so target is 9. So what I have to do it, I have to consider two numbers, that is 2 plus 7 is equal to 9, but we need not return the value, but we have to return the indices, that means the index of that particular values which makes up the target of 9. Okay, so you may assume that each input would have exactly one solution and you may not use the same element twice. We cannot use the element twice, but when we are adding two particular numbers inside an array, we have to, the target should be 9. At the same time, the index values should be equal to 9. We have to return the index value where the value adds up to be the 9 or whatever the target value which has been given. Okay, so how we can do that, right? So normally the one solution which we have is, I have given a naive approach, that is the first initial approach what we are going to do if that is the case. So one approach is that we can do a for each loop or a for loop. We can loop through that particular nums. So nums is the integer, right? So nums will give you whatever the integer of the array or the array objects. So what we are looping through that particular array, and after that what we are doing, we are once again looping through that particular array. Inside this particular loop, we are looping for the second index because we want to find the other number and inside the array. And then once we find the number one and number two, we are just adding up to get that particular target. And once we meet that particular target, we are returning back the indices of that particular number or the value, because we need not return that particular value, you have to return the indices. So that is kind of pretty tricky here. So this is kind of a okay approach. This will 100% will work for you because you are looping through the array, and then once again you are looping through to get the second number, and then you are adding up the two number. But here there will be an issue. It's cannot called as an issue, but it is a problem of big O notation. I think you might have know big O notation of n square. So I don't want to stress my time on explaining what is big O notation and all those notations of issues or the complexity of the redundancy in that particular code. So what happens here is, why we are getting a big O notation, because we are looping through an array twice, and that twice of the array will take lots of your time. And once it take lots of your time, it will reduce your redundancy, and it will increase your redundancy, and you tends to make your code much exponentially slower compared to some of the other techniques or other code base where you can reduce the number of for loops or reduce the number of loop wherein, so that you can get more effective result. So we are not going to use this particular solution because this, as I told, this will have an issue of big O notations where we are having multiple loops. So what we would like to do is, we would like to do it in a very simple way. So what we will do is, we will keep a previous value as an object. So this will be an empty object. We will loop through only once. Okay, remember, we are looping through that particular number of array only once, and then what are we doing? Once we get that particular current index, we are minusing it from that particular target. So from that target value, we are minusing, we are not adding. So we will get that required value, right? So once we minus that particular current iteration from the target value, we will get the other needed value, right? And that other needed value, I will be making as an index of this particular, I will be making, if this is a number, right? I will be making this particular value as the indices of that particular number and storing that in index of 2. Okay, so this is not an object exactly. This, you can call it as a hash. Normally we call it as a hash to store the values, right? Hash is again a data structure. So where it's a kind of a tabular data structure where we just store that particular data there. So, and if you check the index 2 is not null, then you are returning the index of both the values. Else we are giving up the previous value. We are assigning that current value to that particular iteration. Okay, so this is how we are going to do. We are reducing the number of for each year, or we are reducing number of loops and trying to hash that particular value encounter and store all that particular values in previous value object, so that we need not loop through the array, and we can look this previous value instance all the time, so that which will make our life much more easier. So what say guys, we'll give it a try in lead code itself, right? We'll go back and we'll give it a try, and we'll solve it programmatically. So first, initially we have to declare that particular value, right? Previous value, right? Previous value, which is an empty object for the time being. Okay, we'll keep it as previous value is equal to empty object. So then I will be looping through that particular array for I is equal to 0. It starts from I, and the nums will be the array, right? We have that nums, so we'll be having it nums dot length. So we'll be going through till the nums dot length, and then we are incrementing that particular value. So inside that particular loop, what are we trying to do is, every iteration we are storing that particular value in a variable called as present value. Okay, so present value will store my all the iterations, so nums of I. So whatever iteration I am going through, if this is the first iteration, that is if I'm going through 2, and that I am storing that in the present value. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is, I am going to minus that particular value from the target. Now the target is 9 here, right? So whatever target it is assigned, I am trying to negate that particular value, sorry, present value. So present value, I am negating it. I am negating it and storing it in a variable called as required value. Okay, so I'm storing that in a required value. So req value. So required value will store the target value which is there, and I will minus that particular present value. So present value. So basically, present value will store you that particular data of how it stores. So present value will have that particular data inside that particular loops, and I'm showing that inside a required value. So now next what I can do is, I can just check what is index to, right? What is index to the second index, that value. So what did I do? I told you we will be storing that as an index of previous value. So we are storing it as a previous index, so required value. So that value, whatever value we are getting, we will be storing it as an index, and we are putting is that inside index 2, right guys? So now we are checking whether that particular index has that particular key there. So we are this request value, we are storing it as a key for that previous value which is stored here. So index 2, if index 2 is not equal to null, okay, if that value is not equal to null, then what we can do is, so if that value is not equal to null, then I think we can just return the index to the second index, and also the I value. I is the current iteration or the current index of that particular value. Else, if it doesn't have anything, then we are just returning back some previous value, and we are making the key. Okay, it should be prev, right? Prev value, and we are making the key as we are storing that particular value as the present value, whatever value is there, we're storing it there, and we are assigning it to a variable of I. Okay, so what happens here is, we are looping through that particular array. Once that array is looping through, the current iteration or the current value I'm storing in present value, and I'm negating that present value from the target value, and whatever value I'm getting, I'm storing that in request value, and that request value I'm making it as a key for this particular hash table or particular previous value object. I'm making it as a key, and I'm storing it as index 2. If it is not null, I have to return back the index and the current iterative item, or else I have to just send back previous value to the present value, whatever value I have assigned, and assign it to I. So if I run this code now, we'll wait for the output. Hope everything worked. Yes, so our answer is accepted, and our runtime is 72 milliseconds, which is really good compared, and the output is 0,1, and the expected output is also 0,1, and hence is our solution. So this code is much more convenient than what I feel about doing it, looping through it again and again, and trying to make that code much more redundant, so that it will take much more time for you to compile that code and get the output. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful in terms of understanding your fundamentals or algorithmic skills. If you really like this video, I can come up with few more other algorithmic videos so that it will be really helpful for you guys to scale your interview knowledge, right? These kind of questions are asked in interviews, so that you can directly crack this kind of interview questions, and you can get a very good job in software field or in terms in JavaScript development. So I choose JavaScript because you might be knowing I'm already a JavaScript developer, and I have all the videos in terms of JavaScript. And in coming times, I might be doing some videos in terms of Node.js and React.js and probably Angular. So keep watching, guys. Keep supporting. I'll be coming up with some beautiful solutions like this so that you can pass your interviews and you can make your life much more better. Right. With that note, stay safe and